you've seen it in your life.
Yeah.
Poverty. I've seen it in my life, but I've seen poverty in a different country, which is the Philippines, because that's where I was born. So it's a different, in a way, it's a different type of poverty, because a lot of people in the Philippines, the only way out of poverty is to move to the United States.
Hello, world. My name is Tristan,
My name is Kimmy,
and you're now listening to Join
the Conversation Podcast.
Podcast. Welcome to episode 2 of the Join the Conversation Podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Tristan,
My name is Kimmy.
and today, for this week, we're going to be talking about having nothing. And what we mean by having nothing is based off of poverty within America. So before we jump into this week's topic, we're going to give you a little quick recap of episode 1 of what we talked about last week, which was the topic was Am I Enough? And basically throughout that episode, we kind of gave the purpose behind Join the Conversation Podcast, what it means, what it's about, etc. And then we went into the topic of Am I Enough? And what we mean by that is the feeling of, your personal feeling and feeling like if you're enough, do you feel, I guess, accomplished? Do you feel love for yourself?
It's pretty much like kind of yourself, how you feel about your self worth
Yeah.
towards your personal life, such as your family, friends, your relationship, work, and just within the society. And in that episode, we kind of also gave a little bit of a background about who we are and all that stuff.
All that stuff.
It was, I liked that one, but that one was kind of long.
Yeah, that's super duper long. But this one we're gonna start trying to making these episodes about roughly like 30 minutes, maybe less. Cause
Yeah.
who's I'm a type of person that I'm not about to sit and listen to no hour long conversation. So
It depends though
yeah, it depends
what
on
the
the
topic
conversation
is.
and if it's interesting in what I'm doing at that time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just chilling, yeah. But we got y'all. So we're just gonna jump right into it for this week. Topic, like I said, is having nothing. And what we mean by that is basing it off of poverty within America. So before we jump completely into the topic, I want to define the word poverty according to Wikipedia at least. So according to Wikipedia, poverty is a state of deprivation lacking the usual or socially acceptable amount of money or material possessions. Got that?
Yeah.
Got that. All right. So, also with that, I'm gonna give y'all a little quick statistic about the poverty rate. Poverty rate. Poverty rate. My bad. I don't know where I got this information from. I got it off the website. Oh no, I got it right here. My bad. My bad. So, the official poverty rate is 12.7% based on the U.S. Census Bureau 2016 estimates. It's kind of far back, but I'm assuming it's
Don't they do the
pretty.
census like every something years?
Yeah, something like that. That year, an estimated 43.1 million Americans lived in poverty, according to the official measures. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
I mean, if you think about it, I guess you don't really realize of how many or how much? How much? Go.
It depends on what you're trying to say.
How many people are
Yeah,
really living in poverty?
Well,
Because,
many
or how
you know.
much? I don't know.
How many? No, it's how many.
It's how many, right? Yeah. Well, because you don't
Stay in
really. Shut up. Because you don't really realize it because it's not affecting you personally.
Yeah.
So in your head, it's like it ain't really got anything to do with your life. So you kind of just don't bother with it.
Especially so, basically, like if you're a person that's in the middle or
Middle
upper
class, yeah.
you don't care about you.
Let's
I ain't
not
gonna
say
say,
not
yeah.
everybody though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say you don't care. Some people
Don't really.
Some people don't care. Yeah, I'm just gonna say some people don't care.
Yeah, I guess you can put it that way, or it's just not something that's in their mind, you know.
It's gonna be in your mind because you're gonna see it on TV or hear about it. So if you not really doing nothing, you don't care.
I guess.
Just me.
But poverty is not just like really homeless people.
Yeah,
It's
of course.
people that are like in the definition said it's when you don't have the material, the resources, and all that.
So basically, people you might want to say lower class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people who go like the Title I area, like we said earlier.
Yeah. So,
You've seen it in your life.
yeah.
Poverty. I've seen it in my life. But I've seen poverty in a different country, which is the Philippines, because that's where I was born. So it's a different, in a way, it's a different type of poverty because a lot of people in the Philippines, the only way out of poverty is to move to the United States, to get the job at the United States. And then most of the time it's them sending money back to the Philippines to support their family there while they're here in the U.S. working. Or if your family in the Philippines already has money and can put you through college, then you're good. But it all really depends whether it's in your blood or you can get connects to the U.S.
Like me in your blood.
Like it's in your family, in your family line.
Oh.
Money's there already.
Money.
Yeah,
that's
money.
Not in your blood. It's just
I guess.
But in your blood. Wait a minute.
But I guess like we're already living out of poverty, but you see it and you interact with people that are suffering from it, from not having not enough money. Because in my head, I feel like we were in like middle class area when I was living there, but from a person living in the United States, you would look at where I lived back in the Philippines as a really, 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 really low income area because that's not what you're used to seeing. That's not the normal life here. Normal life there is like way below Title One here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because we don't have the same resources in the Philippines as there is here. We don't have the same job opportunities and all that. Like when I visited in February for my dad's wedding recently, I was talking to, I guess, my stepmom's sister. I don't know what to call her. But yeah, I was talking to her. And she's actually just graduated from law school. So she's a lawyer now. But she said, yeah, you can't even get a job until you're 18. And even being 18, it's hard for you to find a job.
Yeah, because you don't have no experience.
Yeah. So it's just all different, really. But this poverty, what's it called, topic is mostly focused on here in America, not really all around the world. But that's just something I've experienced or something I've, what's it called, seen, lived through. Yeah. Because we didn't have a car in the Philippines. We had to take a Jeep or a taxi or somewhere if we wanted to go somewhere. Or I didn't have a phone to just call on somebody if you wanted to, you know. It wasn't that type of living.
You communicate through birds.
Shut up. You ain't nobody communicate through words. You just go run into somebody's house and knock on the door and see if somebody can come out. Or you just play outside by yourself until somebody comes out. That's life.
I mean, yeah, that's, completely different. Definitely different cultures, completely different backgrounds of poverty.
Yeah.
Y'all, mine wasn't that bad. Well, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
If you look at, like, especially, like, when they show pictures, like, in America, when they show different countries, they always show the worst of the country. You ever notice that?
That's how Philippines is seen.
I'm not saying that, what they're showing isn't a real life place. Sometimes you look at stuff and you just be like, dang, is this really real?
Yeah.
Or is, but
But
it's
they
kind of
show
weird
something that's a small area and they make it that main.
Yeah. And one thing that I low-key, this has nothing to kind of like to do with the topic, but something I thought about randomly just now is, being a person from a different country, in your country, how do y'all portray America? I kind of just sitting here thinking about that. Is it because I'm born and raised in America, so home. Oh, I'm about to mess it up. We have freedom, yada yada yada.
I guess
Home of the brave, land of the free. But being a person from a different country, like, what is it? Because it's like everybody is like, basically, oh, America. I need to get to America. America.
because of the jobs.
Okay, so that's where y'all kind of.
I think so.
Where people, from being out of the country?
Yeah, I think it's because of the job opportunities and just I guess not really a better lifestyle living because, in my opinion, from where I came from, it was a very simple living. There wasn't all this luxury stuff. I guess it really is culture because back there, it wasn't who had better, bigger things. There, it was just who was happy and content with what they have, content with their life, their family. It was very, very family, friend, and people oriented. It wasn't material oriented, which I feel here in America, it's very materialistic stuff. Like you can be rich as hell, but be miserable because you're not happy with your life. That also counts with that kind of ties into this too. Like somebody might be really poor and living in poverty, but they're happy with their life that they're living. Like they have their family with them and all that, while somebody so rich commits suicide.
Yeah.
Which we all most of the time see
But
because they're not happy.
yeah, that's kind of like the old saying of just because
Money doesn't bring you
yeah,
happiness.
money doesn't bring you happiness. I was about to say the wrong saying. But I kind of just thought about that because it ran across my mind like, you know what is from people from outside of the country, what is it about America that you always hear about America, like why everyone wants to go to America? So that's why I look, you just thought about that. Because it's like, it's other countries that have, freedom, yada, 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 stuff like that. So that's why I asked that. But, so from, being raised up in that type of poverty, what do you think, how did that kind of like affected you? I guess you could say.
I guess you can say,
Or
I guess I can say that it makes me cherish every little thing in life. Because what I didn't have then, I have now. Or had now. Like a car, which I had. I had a car. And just the opportunity to be like, some people that I went to school with they're not getting the same experience I am here. Like finding a job, going certain places. There's only so much you can do in the Philippines, you know what I'm saying? But it's a very gorgeous place. I'm not talking down on it because it's very pretty and people are very humble, which you don't really get that often here. When you walk past somebody, you might get a stank eye or something. Most of the time, when you encounter someone here in the United States or America or whatever, most of the time it's negative. There, when you encounter somebody, they'll be like, "Oh, hey!" People over there like to say, "Yes, ma'am, yes, sir," that type of stuff. It's really funny. I'm gonna bring you there eventually. Just wait. Nope, we going home, baby.
Japan, here I come.
You ain't going to Japan. We going to the Philippines.
But I mean, that's the same over here. But that's kind of like southern. You only hear that in
Southern
like the southern,
yeah,
southern hospitality. But you only hear that in the South.
I guess.
I ain't really been outside the South like that. Anywhere in America besides the South, really. But
shoot, when I went to New York for like that one night,
I always hear about like other places. They look at you like you crazy. Like,
yeah,
what? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So. Well, people in New York was very rude because I'm tiny. I was trying to get an Uber. Everybody just looking at me. I was retarded because I said, yeah, because like I don't know, people was the one doing the transportation and stuff. They didn't speak English that well, which I was confused. I don't know. It was weird, and it was rude.
I don't know, but
I ain't really got nothing to do with the topic, but it was rude and they hurt my feelings.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so I guess for me, I was born and raised, no, not born, but raised in Denmark, South Carolina. Denmark didn't have much of nothing. I mean, you done seen it, you done seen what
it's
we
just
call
a very,
roadside.
very small.
Yeah, it's a small city. It's a city. People are going to keep calling it a town or something, but it's a city. Put some respect on Denmark. But, I mean, you done seen where we played basketball at. It's called Roadside. A lot of, the city, like, us as kids, or even now, like we fund the basketball nets because sometimes it rains, the nets dry rot, breaks apart. So we have to used to go to Roses and get a new net, put it up. The city didn't do none of that. Is
Which is very unfair. Where's all this tax money come to then?
that's a if you look up Denmark, South Carolina, they going through some things right now.
Yeah.
They
The water thing
they about to,
happened there.
yeah, they about to put the mirror in the headlock. But we ain't gonna talk about that. But just growing up there, for me at least, my mom didn't have much. Well, my parents didn't have much, and then it was just my dad worked at night, my mom worked during the day. So low key growing up, I didn't see my dad a lot, or you know, I mean I seen them, but as I look back, it's kind of like faint memory. I just remember his job and stuff like that. But certain things I remember, some things I don't. But growing up, we didn't have much of nothing. Um, we didn't have no resources. We didn't have no programs. We didn't have nothing really. I mean, we had some programs, but
But it's not at the same level as it would be, say, if a
yeah,
student here in Charleston.
yeah, it's oh no, completely different.
Yeah.
Um, growing up, you know, we didn't have a lot of money. I guess we was lower class, so um, man, it's been times. I don't know really too much what to say about it, but um, it was just
How do you think that experience or that life um,
cause it's hard to
mold
explain
you
it.
who
But
you are now
um,
or affect you?
one thing I can say that being a person from poverty, having nothing, really not having nothing, But speaking of, just this is something that just came to my mind. But have you ever ate off of a kerosene heater?
What's a
Like boiled fried.
kerosene?
You see, you know about that. You know nothing about that. It used to be good though. We used to especially like when the powers go out or something like that or whatever. We used to have kerosene heaters, and we used to put a pot on top of it and boil like franks, and you can make noodles. You
I just have like
macaroni.
a stove.
We had a
It
stove,
wasn't
but
even really a
it's like
stove.
say if your power go out.
Oh, see, us was we had to like buy the big thing. I guess gas.
It
Or
might have been a kerosene heater.
maybe it is because my grandpa. No, it had to be my uncle because my grandpa was old and he weak. But my uncle would bring it. It's like the thing where it looks like a wheel at the top and it was really fat,
Mm.
and then you hook it in. You know what I'm saying?
I can't remember what it looked like. Like it was tall off the ground, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kerosene heater today.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just never knew what it's called. All I knew is it cooked.
Yeah, but but that's just not just. But I don't know. I don't know too much to say about you know my upbringing or living through poverty. But I can say how it affected me, and that I know I don't know if this would count. I don't think you could count this as a stereotype because but or I don't even know if you can list it as stereotype. I don't know, but one thing I can say is that how it affected me is it gave me a hard made me my work ethic. How do I put that? My It made me work hard basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess
It motivated you to work harder.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's what I'm trying to say because um you know coming from that now in Charleston, I hear my time through in college, friends, whatever, and hearing other people kind of complain about a lot of stuff or how their parents basically, you can say, do for them.
Yeah.
You know, I can't really relate to that because my mom did the best she could, and
I think she did really amazing.
yeah, and being at the age I am now, it's like, I'm grown. Like I'm not about to sit and want my mom to still take care of me. I'm complaining about this and that. Like, no, I'm gonna get up and go work
Yeah.
for it. So, and it's like hearing people that I guess you could say came from some money.
Privilege.
They kind of they're like privileged. Like they don't feel like, oh, I don't have to work, or oh, my mom's gonna take care of this for me, just like that.
See,
stuff
I
like
think
that.
that's just all mental stuff.
So I guess so.
Cause that's how my parents are. My parents are willing to give me everything I need and all that. But in my head, at a point in your life, say you can get a job, you can do all this, you know what I'm saying? You can do more. I feel like there's no need for you to be asking your parents for money and all that.
Yeah.
No need for you to be hassling them for things that you can probably provide for yourself if you went and worked hard for it.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. But I guess it's a little different with that because I mean, of course, your parents gonna want you to have
Yeah.
a better life than them. But you know, I'm gonna make my kids work for everything.
Yeah.
Like I want them to. I'm gonna teach them how to have a good work ethic.
Yeah. And what it means to have money.
Yeah.
Kids can't just think, oh, money's coming out of my mommy and daddy's asshole. I actually need to go work for it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, money's not going to fall in your hand just because you ask. Because they're going to think everything's going to be handed to them.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but, I don't know what else with that, I guess.
I guess that's basically our personal encounters or personal experiences with dealing with poverty, or I guess lower income wise. And the crazy part is people in the military, you would think that they're the last people that would deal with poverty issues, because military always shows or pushes you or pushes that, what's it called, not persona, but the idea of, oh, you're gonna get this benefit, you're gonna travel, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, all this is gonna be covered. But they don't tell you, hey, if you go into infantry in the military, when you get out, you ain't really gonna be able to do anything. Then they become homeless because they ain't got no job experience. When they were in the military, they were so focused on their job and they didn't really get a degree, all this other stuff. Because there's a lot of people out there that are military vets but are homeless, which is mind-blowing because they're the last people you would think to be homeless. They're the last people you would think that would be dealing with this type of stuff because of all the sacrifices they have done. Like when we volunteered at that 180 place, I bet you most of those people are military vets.
Probably so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know at least I saw like 2 or 3.
Yeah. And people, you're like, when we're walking downtown, you know, doing our thing, you'll see him holding a sign saying they're a military vet.
But right before we jump completely into that, I want to just acknowledge this. So we have an outline because it kind of like we just shift from that to you just went into a military vet. But I don't know if you picked up on that, but you know we have an outline. We're trying to follow this outline, but after talking about the effects of poverty, we kind of forgot what else we was going to go with that. But our next thing was talking about military vets. Just being honest, you know.
I think I flowed very well using that.
Trash. I'm just playing. But our next thing from that, because we kind of forgot. At least I forgot how I want to transition that. But we wanted to talk about. We talked about the effects of poverty for us, you know, and we would like to hear in the comments or, you know, from the comments or email us to hear your story of if you grew up in poverty and how you kind of like overcame that. I guess, you know, the effects of it, and you know, how did it, I guess you could say, help, or
where did it lead you to?
Yeah.
Like, how did living in poverty or seeing poverty affect you and where you are now in life? You gotta think too, some of these like billionaires, millionaires, whatever, there's that post on Facebook and Instagram I always scroll past, like, this person, what's it called? This person started their business in their garage. This person started their business in the garage, or whatever. Like,
you just repeat yourself.
I know. That's alright. It happens. But yeah.
How you getting ready to talk about something, then you stop? What you was about to say? You just said.
Well, I guess it's kind of like them struggling with, they didn't really have that money and resource to be renting out a space to work on the project they're working on. And all that stuff. So they used what was in front of them already. There was no excuse of I don't have this, I don't have that. They made do with what they had and made it happen. So I guess people can really take it either or. They can take their experience from poverty in a negative way or in a positive way. Negative being you don't you stay there and you complain. But it's understandable if there's nothing you can do about it. And then there's people who make do and better themselves, using whatever's in front of them or being creative with it. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah. So I just wanted to acknowledge that we not trying to sit here and have this so scripted. Like, yeah, we're gonna just yeah. So anyway, my next thing that was on our list, at least we have an outline, but the next thing was to talk about military vets and how they go from to go from the military uh throwing off or giving out like, hey, you join the military, yada yada yada, you're gonna be great, you're gonna be set, you're gonna come out of here with money, yada yada, you're gonna have the cars, whatever. But you see so many they go like you see so many military vets that are like homeless, they fall into poverty. And it's kind of like, like it's just like a how, type of just how question, it just pops up like how does that happen, when at least for me, I've kind of always thought about that. I don't, um, especially being the person that almost went into the military. Um, it's just like I know, but I mean, I get like a lot of times what happens is those people get out of they don't people mismanage their money, so they may get out the military and then they kind of like just blow their money. So I understand that happens, but my thing is, I personally feel like if you're a person that joins the military, you should, I guess, be set for life. If you, I guess.
It all depends on what you do. What you
I mean,
choose.
I
The
get that,
the
but no,
job.
I'm just saying in general. Like, if you join, well, yeah, you're right. If it all depends on what you do, but what I mean by that is like, I guess my mind is more wrapped around. I guess I could say when I'm thinking about military, I'm thinking about infantry, people that's in infantry. I guess that's what my mind is wrapping around because you're risking your life. Um, you know, you know, especially if you join the infantry, you're risking your life. You're on the battlefield. So to be able to make it out of that, get out the military, you're classified as a military vet. I personally feel like
You should get
the
much.
country should, really take care of you. Make sure that you don't become homeless or you don't fall into poverty. Um,
Yeah, in a way though, but some people just, like you say, mismanage their money,
uh,
mismanage the things that is given to them by the military. Like military, if you're in active duty, they pay for your college. So it's up to you whether you want to go do college online and stuff like that. Because you being in the military, isn't there like a 4 year contract and all that? There's
your
an
contract
amount of
varies.
yeah,
Yeah.
the years you what's it called? The years you sign to stay in the military within that year, like 4 years, whatever, you could get your associates, your bachelor's. Some people probably get their master's. It all really depends on your motivation on what you want to do. But also, you got to understand, like most people that go into the military are people that just graduated high school, and
Yeah.
all they see is money in front of them. They don't see or think about how that is going to affect them in the future. The decisions they're making now is going to affect them in the future somehow, some way. Because people in the infantry, they just see, oh, this is gonna get me out the house. This is gonna bring me money. Let me sign. Or there's just some people that really want to be, in there like that.
I mean, like, I think now they do have something like this to where, if you join, especially like straight out of high school, because a lot of people don't want to go to college because for various reasons. Whether
College isn't for everyone.
yeah, college isn't for everyone, wherever the reason may be, and they kind of don't want to necessarily jump into the workforce. They kind of like stuck in they don't know what to do, so they decided to join the military. And I think now, I don't know about back then too much, but I think now they have something to where you join and you have somebody that helps you manage your money, save and stuff like that.
Probably so.
But I wonder if they had, and I guess this could have been something I did research on too, but um, it's a it's a good conversation. If somebody do know the answer, you definitely leave a comment or email. But I wonder if back then did they have the same thing, where back where our vets now, did they have that opportunity of being managed and etc.
Yeah.
And if they didn't, I feel like, I don't know. I just don't feel like anybody that been in the military should end up homeless or like
No, I
at
don't
a
think
shelter,
so.
like being at 180 place, seeing somebody that
180 place is the place we volunteer at sometimes.
yeah, and it's I don't know, like seeing some a military vet there, not knowing what their job was in the military, but it's just like, dang, um, you risk your life for this country, and like, why are you here? Like, how did you, I don't know.
There's got to be a better and bigger reason behind it, but it'd be really interesting to know how that happened,
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's even some people, military vets that worked in the medical field that are homeless.
Because I mean, to be a vet, you have to
Serve your years.
yeah, you basically like you retire at 20 years in. Yeah, so you make your career out of it, which means you get a monthly check, right?
Yeah.
So like, how?
This
like,
is just yeah.
how does
There's
that
so
happen?
much parts of it that doesn't really make sense because I thought you get like a GI Bill, you get the monthly stipend because you served the years you were supposed to, all that. But then why? So why is there military vets that are homeless?
Yeah, like something's just off, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if y'all know the answer
What it
to it, like please let us know because this is something we're very interested in. Like we always thought about this every time we walk or drive past a military vet, and it's really mind blowing and weird.
Yeah. So on to our next thing. We're gonna ask. This is a question where these are some questions that we want you all to think about. Not necessarily leave a comic or email or whatever. This could be
You
something.
can if you want.
Yeah, you can if you want, but this could be something personally that you think about, and
Something you can reflect on.
yeah. So the question is, how many homeless people do you pass on your daily in your day? How you wrote this?
How many homeless people do you pass on your daily life? That makes sense.
Okay, in your daily life
Sure.
or on your daily life?
I don't know.
This is why education is important. So basically, like, how many? I don't want to say homeless. I feel like that's
So I
kind
put quote unquote.
I don't. Yeah, it just sounds saying somebody. I don't know. It sounds so negative.
How many people in need do you pass in
Oh,
your
really?
daily life?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the question is, how many homeless people do you pass in your daily life? And I guess how many times have they, I guess, approach you about money and you kind of ignore them or deny them? I guess, is that what you was getting at with that question?
I guess.
Because you just left it at in your daily life. Like, what's the
it's in your everyday life. Like when you're going out grocery shopping, you're most likely gonna find somebody that's homeless or approaching you. We've had that happen to us several times. Where it's just, I don't know if they're homeless or just, it's not even just homeless. That's why I have it in quotation mark. It's just
No, I get
people
that, but I'm just saying,
that
like,
are in need of things, I guess. But my thing is, like, you can't really. I see why people are hesitant to give money away to quote unquote homeless people because you don't know where that money's going to.
I mean, I understand that. That's just something that I didn't know if that was your question.
No, that's just something in general, like how many you. Because, like, in your everyday life, when you're driving, there's always, I feel like, at least one person that you will drive past that is either holding a sign saying, I'm homeless, I need this and that, or just people sleeping on the ground, or it's just those people in need that it's obvious that they need help. That was basically my question. Because at least, I don't know. That's what I wanted them to think about. Just like, imagine if you went to go on about your day, your normal day, just look out for those type of things. Those type of people that are in need and that are asking for it. I bet you they or y'all will pass by at least one person and just think like, how does a person get there? Or just even think, how can you help them? Because it's not always about money. Yeah, you giving them money is not helping them. Yeah. It's just you helping them for like, it's not even helping them, it's just you providing for them for like 5 minutes and then that's gone again. You're not really teaching them a life skill that will help them get out of that quote unquote homeless situation or in need situation. It's like that saying of, if you what's it called, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. That type of deal.
I got you now. I was lost for a second, but I got you. But yeah, I got you now.
I guess that kind of ties into the second question, which is, how can you prevent homelessness and can it even be prevented? I think there's really no preventing anything. There's a way to help, like, make it happen less often, but there's no such thing as preventing it. I guess, isn't that what preventing defines?
What? On that back.
I want to see. Okay, this is the definition of prevent. Make unable to do something. How can it? Okay, I guess so. You can't prevent it. I don't know. Well, I guess what my thinking was, you can't stop homelessness, or you can't stop people not having the resources they need and all that stuff. Basically, you can't stop people living in poverty, but you can help limit that.
So, yeah. So that's that's also a question to you all, that what do y'all think about that? Can you prevent homelessness, and can it even be prevented? So, if you have a different thought, leave a comment, or even email if you would like. And I did some research on
Let's say ideas.
Yeah, ideas on, well, this is 5 ways poverty can at least be reduced. Have no clue, can't remember where I got this information from. It was on the internet, but I wrote this a long time ago in my notebook. So if you hear some flipping of some pages, I'm in my notebook. So one of the ways that you can reduce poverty is increase employment. That makes sense, of course. But one thing though, which is so weird. Well, it's not weird, but this is something that we've encountered this year. Well, not necessarily encountered, but it's been a discussion that we had this year, And I remember this being a topic in a discussion with one of my mentees during a mentorship that I did. And basically, and a matter of fact, we even encountered this when we went downtown and we talked. We was giving away pizzas,
Mhm.
and the guy came up and he said how, he was homeless. He was, down, out here, out there,
Yeah.
um, you know, sleeping outside,
Mhm.
and he said how he found a job and he's now staying at this. He was staying at a hotel and he was working his way up.
You talking
But
about the guy that drew us?
I don't think it was him. I don't think it was him. I think it was somebody else. I don't remember who it was exactly. But what I was getting at is that, and it's like a lot of homeless people, like they might find a job opportunity, but they end up kind of like not taking it. I guess you can say, like some people that are homeless, they end up just getting comfortable with that and just be like, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm fine like this, or I accept this. I don't want to. Um,
They're just content.
yeah, they're content with it, and it's
Nothing wrong
to
with that.
to us. I guess it would be weird,
Yeah.
because
It's
we've
not what
never
we're
been
used to.
homeless or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we can't relate like that to it. But um, I don't know. That's just something that came across my mind. I forgot where I was going with that. But the second thing was at least a way to reduce poverty was to raise America's pay. In other words, raise the federal minimum wage because of right now it's 7.25 an hour, the minimum wage, and we all know that that's not enough. That's not enough at all. You can't make a living. You can't survive off of 7.25 an hour.
Mhm.
Um,
But in my thinking too, a lot of people might not think the way I think about this. Is that minimum wage is the minimum for a reason, because that for you to get a higher pay, you're gonna want to, I guess, further your education and further
People can't
your
afford it. Not
I
everybody can
understand, I
afford
get that,
education.
but like, I guess not even further your education, further your skills and abilities in a
That's
way.
different. Yeah, that's
I don't
different.
know how, but because I feel like if everybody's just getting paid the same amount,
No, I mean
then
like
nobody's making their way up. I get that. That still needs to be raised, in my opinion,
that's not.
because 725 is still nothing.
I don't. I mean, I'm gonna say I disagree because that's different. That's completely different. Like there's different pay grades. Like some people make depending on your degree, whatever. You can make 15 an hour, you make 16 an hour, you make 17 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
yada yada yada. That's completely different. That's based off a lot of times. That's based off the education and your skills and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. But I don't think it should be like that. I think that minimum wage should be a set amount for somebody for set amount for standard living, and then but those could still be perks. Like let's say the minimum wage is 15. You know,
Then everything else needs to be
yeah,
higher.
that's
It's
how it
not
is now
just.
though. That's how it is now. Like the minimum is 7.25, but you can make higher. But all I'm saying is the
No, no,
minimum
no,
the
no.
minimum needs to be a standard living.
Yeah.
You can have like which is let's say it's 15. I have a degree in I have a degree. I'm just gonna say that I have a BS in psychology. I have a degree, and the minimum is 15. But because I have a degree, I can potentially get paid 18 or 17.
See, I
See,
think
that's different.
I don't think it should be potentially. I think you should automatically get paid a lot more than the minimum wage if you have a degree
Yeah,
and if you
that's
have
different though.
all this
That's
and that.
that's count as scales and whatever that counts as.
No, I get that
Yeah,
now. But what I'm saying is if that is raised, then everything else needs to be raised. Because you know how like in
I
your
I
job,
understand it, but that's
yeah,
that's different. That's
I guess.
that's not based off. I'm not. That's separate from what minimum wage needs to be.
Hmm.
That's yeah. Like of course that would move up. Of course that would move up in theory, because like right now it's 7.25, but we see that there's jobs that pay $11 an hour, $12 an hour. You can find jobs based off depending on your skill sets and your degrees or whatever that pay you more.
Hmm.
That's completely separate. But we're talking about minimum wage. Nobody can survive off 7.25 an hour.
No.
Um,
If you can, let us know how.
yeah, but your minimum there need to be a set minimum wage that's for the standard living, and then you can go out and get improve your skill sets,
Get certified and
get
stuff.
certified, get a degree that can bring in more money. Yeah, that's completely separate. But as far as
Yeah, I get
minimum
what you're
wage,
coming
yeah,
from.
yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. But the third thing is which is weird. Well, I don't say it's weird, but on the list it said paid family and sick leave. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
read.
because
Yeah, go ahead.
a lot of people get sick,
Oh yeah,
but then they
yeah,
get
I'm tripping.
penalized for it.
Yeah, I'm tripping.
Or I have this one girl, her boyfriend works this job, and apparently he can't get sick. Like, he just can't get sick because he'll get, like, you know how you get strikes or get written up? I guess he lost his job because he got sick for like a week and got like the flu or whatever. And his boss was so hard on him that he was like, okay, well, you've been missing a lot of work. You don't got this job anymore.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like, that's bull. Like, you can't stop yourself from getting sick. That's just part of life.
Yeah. I don't know why I was interpreting it just now. I get it. Yeah, I'm tripping. I was tripping just now, but yeah, that's stupid. The fourth thing is end the poverty tax. So it says people that live in low income environment pay extra for mostly everything such as food, car. Yeah, that's true. Car loans, etc. That's true. Like we already don't have much of nothing, and food is so high. That's a completely different topic, but it's so weird how healthy foods are higher than food that's not necessarily so good for us. But that's a completely different topic. But yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna say too much about that. But and the fifth thing is that said reform the criminal justice system. And I guess what they basically mean by that is, let's say basically if you get a record, that kind of depletes your chances of that kind of not like you get a record. It mainly depends on what it is, but if you basically get a record, your job opportunities drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And the chances of you getting hired over somebody else is very unlikely.
Yeah, because it could be you could have got locked up over
Something
a misunderstanding. You know, so yeah.
Which I think is boo boo. There's something like what? It is boo boo.
Okay,
because like why? Especially if people are like innocent, or some people be getting locked up now when they didn't do nothing.
Ain't do nothing. Countries you could be.
Hush.
You from Philippines? Y'all country over?
No.
My bad. That's beside the topic.
But I feel like once you're out of jail and you've proven wrong that you're a better person already, then I think you should get a clean slate. And if you didn't do anything, I guess I say give it a grace period.
Oh, that's a completely different topic. We can say that for an episode.
But like that's a way to prevent prevent poverty.
Yeah.
Because like that gets them out,
Yeah.
That gives them chances and opportunities to be able to get the job and not just be stuck at home because that's the only thing they can do. And they get yelled at for okay. Yep.
Anyway, so basically we're coming to the end of episode 2 of Join the Conversation podcast. Again, this topic this week was having nothing, which what we mean by that is basing it off of poverty in America. This is only episode 2. We're still getting better. We're still learning, et cetera, et cetera.
We're still learning the flow of things and how we should run this podcast,
So if you got any advice, definitely leave it in the comments. Email us. Help us because we want to be...
just improve ourselves.
Yeah, we just want to improve. There's nothing
episode.
wrong with constructive criticism. People take any type of comment as negative. No.
We won't get booty hurt.
Yeah. What? Anyway. So recapping, we talked about. We introduced the topic. I'm reading off this outline. I'm so sorry. We introduced the topic. We talked about the effects of poverty. We kind of transition towards military vets and how their homelessness and how that even happens. We asked the questions of how many homeless people do you pass in your daily life. Somebody said on that wrote this.
I don't know how to use in and on.
Stay in school. And then somebody, not somebody. And then the next question was, how can you prevent homelessness, and can it be prevented? So
we want y'all to think about those 2 questions at the very end. Just self-reflect throughout your life or throughout your day, and just really think. I guess put other people in your head, and not always a me thing.
Yeah. And for those that, a lot of times, I want to always encourage the youth, because I know how that is from being young, especially coming from poverty. For any of the kids that maybe even listen to this, because let's not act like kids don't sneak and listen to things that they maybe even shouldn't listen to. But we want this to be something that anybody and everybody can listen to. So if you're a kid that's out there that's listening to this right now, you're living in poverty, you're going through some hard times, things you don't understand. Just know things will get better. Whatever your dream, your goal is, chase after it. Don't let nobody stop you. And there's always a way out.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, and if let's say that especially for me, coming from a place that we didn't have many resources and stuff. Man, once you get older, who's stopping you from creating those resources? That's one of my plans. I ain't gonna jump into all that. Somebody might steal my credit penalty formula, but, yeah, I don't know what I was going to do with that, but I just want to give the youth some encouragement. But we're currently 50 minutes in this podcast. We lied. We tried to make it short, but it didn't work out.
This is still not as bad as last time.
Yeah, it's not as bad as last time, but. This is basically the end of this episode, man. I don't know what else to say. Hope you all enjoy this topic. We got many more. We got more topics on the way very, very soon.
And if you have any ideas of topics or something you guys want us to talk about or something you want your opinion in, feel free to email us or shoot us questions or any of that stuff through email or whatever.
Most definitely. So, we're your hosts. My name is Tristan.
My name is Kimmy.
And thank you for tuning in to Join the Conversation podcast. And we hope to see you all next week.
Bye.